Yeah, it was. That was awful. My spleen! My spleen! Hello YouTube, this is Frugal. We are back in Papua New Guinea for the next leg of the Orbx Tapini tour. Currently parked in Kosipe, which is where we landed in the last video. And we're going to be flying today to Asimba. We're 6,500 feet up, I think, here. And Asimba is actually not very far away. I actually did this on a live stream last week just to see what it was like, and it was interesting. It wasn't too tricky compared to the others, but it was tricky to get to it. You see, Asimba is actually just on there, the other side of this mountain though, so we need to fly up, and we can't climb fast enough to just climb out over this mountain line. We need to turn right and then fly over the ridge and come back down, then turn in, which is a bit of a challenge, not crazy hard compared to some of the others. So a bit of a respite, I think, from the heart attacks and everything else that's been going on in the previous legs of this trip. I've actually been recording all day. I've been working all day on flying in X-Plane for a review of the IXCG 737. And then I foolishly sat down to record and recorded a great video, but with zero sound. So I figured, let's go back to prepared and have a bit of fun before I try again to record that. So anyway, let's get going. I've already set up a user waypoint for Asimba. Can't really use the interim waypoints thing that I did to land here this time because it's just so narrow to maneuver down there. But Asimba, as I said, is 1,100 feet up, runway 909/27, so fairly easy routes to follow. Let's start setting this thing up. So, parking brake. Where are you, parking brake? Let's put that on. All switches off. Landing gear switch needs to be down. And I am still flying with my trusty Thrustmaster Warthog because I'm just enjoying using that. It's been a long time since I used it on a series and thought now was the right time. So battery switch now can go on. We'll check the VMC. Start up over here. Only running 30% fuel in each tank, so we're nice and light. Beep beep. Good. Check our lights at the top here, they're all good. Check our trim tabs. 0, 0, 0. And the altimeter needs to be set. Well, we can't do that because we haven't got the ATIS yet. So before starting checklist, canopy closed and locked? Yes, it is. Harness and rudder pedals adjusted. Flight controls full and free movement. Yep, we're all good. Circuit breakers all in. Yes, indeed they are. Normally in the real aircraft, of course, should be tapping on those to make sure they're in. Fuel selector both. That is now both. And then we're going to go ahead and start this bird up. So we'll put the nav lights on. Let me change my view here a little bit so it's easier to see. So batteries on, nav lights on, fuel boost. Going to open the throttle. About 1/4 of an inch. Get a mixture full rich. Prop full. And then start, I hope. Here we go. Like a champ every time. Alright, so fuel boost off. Get rid of that page of the checklists. Alternator now goes on. Oil pressure should be rising. Which it is. Oil pressure has already risen. It's temperature that's now rising. Engine readings are so far within limits. And a little bit high on the RPM, but that's okay. Avionics master now can go on, so we can start working through all these switches down here. That one, that one, that one. This will just power up. And this one, I'm going to put this on Alt straight away. And then we can tune ATIS and see what the weather is like. It looks pretty nice compared to some of the other flights, but we shall see. Oh, there's my message. Okay.
Alpha Yankee Papa Yankee airport information Charlie 0000 Zulu weather wind 044 at 5 visibility 10 sky condition 1800 scattered temperature 31 dew point 25 QNH 1011 advise on initial contact. You have information Charlie Alpha Yankee Papa
Alright,
Yankee.
So a slight crosswind for landing. 1011 on the QNH. We'll just double check that by pressing the B key, which is all good. Brakes off. Very short runway here. think we have enough speed now. Just missed the fence. Positive rate gear up, kinda. Now we need to climb out over these trees here. So holding a lot of back pressure. Clear these trees. My goodness. And now that I'm fairly certain I'm clear, I'm going to bring the nose down, go up one stage of flaps, pick up some speed. Gosh. Get some more speed here. Next stage of flaps can come up. Yes, we will go to the terrain display. It's going to be useful. I am likely to collide with something shortly. So we'll start our turn. Keep on climbing. Next stage of flaps. Get up to that 110 knots climb speed, I hope. Alright, we're heading in a safe direction now, looking at the terrain display. Absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So close on that fence. Not the ideal aircraft to be flying in this part of the world, as many of you have pointed out at length. Let's turn those landing lights off. Alright, so going to trim. Bit of nose down there. In fact, I'll hold the stick forward. This is how we trim again. Hold the stick forward until we get to 110. And then see where that puts me in terms of trim. Yeah, a little bit of nose down trim there. And we're good, so we'll keep on climbing. Insane! I can actually trim more. Bonkers place to fly. Now you can see big red blob here to the left of the aircraft. So I can't in any way, shape or form turn. The red means I'll collide with it. So we'll keep climbing, and we'll keep climbing until that red is no longer red. And then we can think about heading to the airport. And people have asked about the oxygen. I need it because I need it. The sim starts breathing heavily if I don't turn it on. It does, however, say in the documentation above 12,000 feet, but I'm going to turn it on at 10,000. The volume knob is stuck. I'm going to turn it on at 10,000, which is right about now. There it goes. And we'll keep on climbing and climbing and climbing. All the redness is going away at last. It's not all completely gone though. If I were to turn 90 degrees left at this point, I would collide with those mountains, so we'll keep climbing. We should adjust this autopilot in case we do use it. Let's go for about 11,000. 11,100? 11,000. Because it's all yellow now. But before we do that, we'll lean the engine once again, leveled at 11,000 feet. And then we're going to reduce manifold pressure to... Well, we don't really need to reduce manifold pressure. It's already reduced as a byproduct of the altitude we're at, but we will reduce the prop back to about 24 or even 22, I think. Actually, we don't need that much. There. Alright, so nose down, went a little over the 11,000. Let's get that back down. There we go. Just trimming the aircraft. Pushing forward on the stick and then trimming forward until the nose starts to move. That's how I typically know I'm in the right place. It's kind of round about here. So watching the EGT 1463. Oh my goodness, it's getting bumpy up here. It's right. No, it dropped. So it's about 1410 is what we want on the trim, on the leaning, which is about there. Okay, let's start our turn to the left. So checking left. We'll roll this over, nose down a little bit. And start trying to head in the right direction. And we'll stay away from that cloud as well, which is going to make our day unpleasant. Right over there, and I can hear the wind now whistling past the canopy, meaning we're picking up speed, which is exactly what I want. Let's take a look outside. There we are. Beautiful scenery. Look at that runway down there. I think we already landed on that. That's one of the ones we tried in a previous video. Probably Fane. Oh, you see that one? That's the second video I did, or the first video I did. Tape, I think that is. Getting to know this region really well now. Very cool. Yeah, we're starting to climb a little bit too much because I was too busy admiring the cameras. Let's pump open the GPS and terrain display. I was reading earlier on this, the angle of attack indicator. I'm not sure I'm completely fluent with how it works, but I got a much better idea. That solid black circle means obviously flaps are up. And the fact, if we look at the number here, the angle, there's no line underneath it, so gear is up. Actually, it is a good thing we climbed. Look at that. Going to pass very close to the top of this hill. For those of you watching who haven't picked up the Tapini scenery pack from Orbx, I really recommend it. It's such good fun. And just do what I've been doing in this video series. Just fly from airport to airport. Challenge yourself a bit. Try different aircraft as well. I'm having a lot of fun with the RealAir Sims Lancair Legacy, which is why every video has been with this. Obviously when this series finishes, I'll put the aircraft away and we'll go back to the Pipers, the A2A Comanches, and the Texan, of course, now, which I've been working on as well. Trying to get that video done, which is proving tricky just really because of time. Right, I think we're good. Let's go back to a map view. And zoom. Great, so we're going to be on track fairly soon. So Asimba is 10 miles away, over there, at about 2 o'clock. It's very hard to see. You can already see it's in a valley. You see this green line coming in? So we basically need to overfly it, go down the valley, turn around and come back. Now, given our heading right now is easterly, we're probably going to be landing on runway 27. And I do remember when I did this on the live stream, it is a one-way runway. It wouldn't be wise to land in the other direction. I am descending right now, which is fine, because we're 11,000 feet up, and the runway is 1,000 feet above sea level. Do we see it yet? No, but it's actually over there. That's it there. That cloud's not what I want. We'll start turning. The reason landing on runway landing on runway 09 isn't easy is because there is actually a slope at the end of the runway approaching from that direction, this direction in fact, that makes the approach very, very tricky indeed. As always with these Tapini scenery pack airports, they're all a little bit deceptive in their own ways, each and every one of them. Okay, so I think we're clear on terrain. So I'm going to reduce the power. And we can start descending now. Get this turn going in. Let's see if we can see that again. Ah, there. It's there. It's a bit of a challenge. We're going to go down there, turn around and come back. And land, as I said, runway 27. So let me put a heading bug on 27 here. There. Just as a point of reference. We're under 10,000. I'm going to put the landing lights on because we are landing now. Oh, that's off now. What happened to my lights? Turn those all back on. There we go. Don't know what happened. I did actually edit because I made a mistake with my controls on the takeoff, which is why there was a bit of a crossfade, some of you might have noticed. I must have forgotten to turn those on a second time around. I apologize. Okay, this away. Trying to stay out of the clouds a little bit. Arriving at waypoint. Oh, I know. We do have a pretty steep rate of descent, but that's fine. This is an aerobatic aircraft. It can handle that. And I am safe right now. Let's see if we can take it down to about 3,000 feet, if possible. I'm just on the edge of the valley, look. Need to go a little bit to the left to be completely safe. And then we're landing that way. Just keeping an eye out. This cloud's thinning, which is awesome. Runway is now behind us. Don't have a good view of it. Beautiful, beautiful skies. As always, I've already mentioned, the scenery is Orbx Tapini with the free Orbx Helgamesh. And the skies and every other texture here is Rex 4 Texture Direct as well as Rex Soft Clouds. And this is the Lancair Legacy version 2 from RealAir Simulations, and I'm flying in Prepared from Lockheed Martin, but that shouldn't make a difference. Every single add-on is available for FSX as well. Alright, coming up on 5,000 feet. Now this is the bit that's worrying me actually, because when I did this on the live stream, just on a whim, thought let's try and live stream it. It went really well. To the point that I stalled the aircraft about 5 feet off the runway and just floated it down, and it was a thing of beauty. I can guarantee that's not going to happen now. Let's use the aerobatic nature of this aircraft to make a nice steep turn, which will bleed a little speed. Oh, and altitude. Look at that drop. Alright, and then we'll stick to the right-hand edge of the canyon. Coming down at 4,000 feet now. So we'll enrich the mixture a little. Prop full. And just stay as far to the right as we possibly can. You can already see where I set my heading bug. The runway heading. The challenge, as always now, is going to be spotting the runway. I'll try and level this off at 3,000. Is that it there? I do believe that is it there. Let's trim here. Get that nose up. Not that much though. We'll keep descending down to 3,000. That is the runway. On the left. No need to slow down just yet. But it's getting close. If I ease up on my power, I fed some power back in there, but if I ease up right now and trim this for straight and level, the speed will bleed. As it is right now. There we go, first stage of flaps, and around we go. And let's see if we can repeat the live stream beauty. I doubt it. Gear down. Speed's coming down nicely. Feeding back in some power. And trimming and trimming and trimming. Yeah. We're going to fly this slope down to the runway. I do need to ease up a little bit on my rate of descent. Terrain ahead. Let's get rid of the GPS now and focus on what we're trying to do. 2400, so I'm just under 1,000 feet above the runway right now. It's, I think, let me look at my notes. No, I'm just over 1,000. 1,170 is the runway elevation. Not going to feed in more flaps just yet. Gentle turns because I got flaps out now. Don't want to overstress things. More trim. And you can see that circle there in the angle of attack display is now has a green outline around it. And that green line with the dot is the ideal approach angle. I don't think we're going to hit it. You can see there's a solid line as well underneath the angle number because my gear is down. Okay, I can't actually see which part of that is runway. Oh, maybe I can. Speed is coming down beautifully. I really want to see if I can do what I did in that stream, which is float this onto the ground. Bit more power, we are about to stall. Now is not the time to stall, we stall in a minute. No, I'm approaching stall. I can tell from the angle of attack indicator now. Just want to get it over that little ridge. There's the stall. Ooh, hard landing. But it's all good. Not perfect, not like it was on the stream. But we are down. And before I shut the aircraft down, I'll fire up that replay. And you can see how hard it was. It seemed pretty crazy. So just 2 more flights to go. The next flight is out to Yongai, and then after that we're going to go to the main airport here in Papua New Guinea. It's been a lot of fun. Let me see if I can quickly pop open the replay. Now people have been telling me to go to, I think it's Port Moresby, I think is the main airport, which I'll be doing on the final leg of this after the next video, but I think for these next 2 flights I'm actually not going to go there first. I'm just going to fly there and then be surprised and horrified when I get there. Look at that flap flutter. This is a feature of the RealAir Simulations aircraft. Look. Flaps fluttering in the breeze. Feeling the load exerted on them by the aircraft and the wind. Amazing level of detail. Love the RealAir Sim stuff. Alright. I should have had an add-on running. It would tell me my touchdown rate. I was trying to get over this bump here. I was trying to not land here, but actually get over this bump and just float it down there, and I think I failed miserably. Haters gonna hate and all that. Whatever. Actually, I don't think that's going to be too bad. Look. Yeah, it was. That was awful. My spleen! My spleen! Any landing you can walk away from, so they say. Although, I've got to have a new spleen put in. As always, my name is Frugal. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you all very soon.